folks, welcome to the Daily Coin. My name is Rory and today is Wednesday, August the 30th, 2017. And today I'm going to present a slightly different show than what you're used to. It's not an interview. It's more along the lines of what I was doing when I had the YouTube channel 500 Ounces that I deleted a number of years ago. And it's just some commentary that I wanted to present just on my own. And wanted to introduce you to the Daily Coin website, and not asking for any money. I don't have a Patreon account, none of that. I'm just asking that if you guys would, if you'll come over and visit the site, once or twice a week, that would be a big help to furthering everything that I'm doing over at the website. SD Bullion, for those of you that are stacking physical gold and silver. SD Bullion has been a great partner of the Daily Coin, and if you are looking at adding to your current stack of physical gold and silver, I would ask that you consider making that purchase with SD Bullion and using the banner on the website. So that would be a big help. As far as the original works that most of you are probably not familiar with, unless you've been to the site, I do a lot of writing, and if you click the button right there, it will take you right to all of the articles, all the original work that I do, including all the videos, including this video. It will be under this tab. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. And what I wanted to do was, the goal of this video is to ask questions or present questions that I've been asking. And I made a video with Louis Camersano recently that a lot of you probably seen, where I presented a format, and I just became a Bitcoin gazillionaire. And in this video, I'm just asking, why is everybody so distracted by the profits and not looking at who's behind the curtain and operating, what they're doing, what the IMF, the BIS, the World Bank, what are they doing? What are they saying? And these are the people that have the keys to the monetary world right now. They have them. What are they saying? And I was watching Leah Remini Scientology expose last night. It's one of the few television shows that I watch. And at the very beginning of each of the episodes, she asked this question, and I'm going to ask the same question. If cryptocurrencies are so amazing, why can't they stand up to some questions? And that's all that I'm doing, is I'm asking some questions. And I want to get into, right now, what's actually happening. This is on Bloomberg. Why gold is less of a haven these days. Gold has been under attack for decades by the mainstream media. But cryptocurrencies are not. Cryptocurrencies are embraced. Is Bitcoin the new gold? Mainstream media is touting cryptocurrencies as being all that and a bag of chips, while they continue to attack gold. I mean, Jim Cramer says it's possible Bitcoin could reach 1 million Federal Reserve notes one day. If that doesn't, make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, I don't know what does. I mean, Jim Cramer talking about Bitcoin reaching 1 million Federal Reserve notes. Now we get into some of the players. So I'm just asking why, and if you turn on any of the financial news TV, MSNBC, Bloomberg TV, Fox Business, whatever, they're going to have a segment that's in regular rotation regarding cryptocurrencies, probably something positive. And if they discuss gold or silver at all, more than likely it will not have a favorable spin to it. So, and I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are very familiar with what I'm talking about. Blythe Masters left JP Morgan to join a company called Digital Asset Holdings, I believe that's the name of it. She is the banker who helped give the world credit default swaps and wants to upend finance again, this time with the code that powers Bitcoin. This woman, in my opinion, is evil genius. Credit default swaps, Blythe Masters, it could be argued that she is directly responsible for these credit default swaps, directly responsible for the economic nightmare that we're currently living through that began in 2008. In 2008, on Halloween of 2008, is when Bitcoin was born. It's when this anonymous ghost that is referred to as Satoshi introduced Bitcoin. At first, Bitcoin was only used amongst the gamers, and they were using Bitcoin as a way of purchasing gaming cards. And somehow it morphed into this so-called currency. And now it's being touted by a lot of different people in a lot of different venues as being some kind of saving grace from the banksters. But here's one of the true monetary masters that created credit default swaps, one of the most dangerous investment instruments known to humankind. I mean, it's just incredible. Blythe Masters unveils fix for blockchain privacy concerns. More good news about Blythe. This was in December of 2016. Digital Asset Holdings. This is the company that she works for. Synthesized finance. I just prefer regular finance. Synthesized finance, I don't really want anything to do with. Regular finance, it's always served me just fine. Blythe Masters talks tipping point for business blockchain adoption. So it's once again published in 2016. It's just incredible. We're at a tipping point where this technology is turning mainstream, and this technology needs to be understood by more mainstream audience, IMF, one of the true money masters of the world. They're called International Monetary Fund. They're not called, my neighborhood's monetary fund. It's International Monetary Fund. Explores ICOs and central bank coins in new blockchain note. This was published in June of this year over at CoinDesk. IMF urges banks to invest in cryptocurrencies. Once again, June of this year, published over at Investopedia, another mainstream media website. Bitcoin.com publishes on August the 30th, today, no, this article was not, it was published in June. IMF publishes report detailing regulatory recommendations for the cryptocurrency industry. This is one of my personal favorites. IMF's secret blockchain meeting gets lukewarm Bitcoin community reception. That's the nice way of saying that the Bitcoin community completely ignored the fact that the IMF is holding a secret blockchain meeting headed by one of the most criminal people on planet Earth, Christine Lagarde. I mean, it's incredible. Lagarde herself stated in October she foresaw banks and others actively using digital currencies as soon as 2021. What about the vampire squid? Goldman Sachs granted the Settle coin cryptocurrency patent. Now, the vampire squid is known for calling their clients Muppets. They're in the cryptocurrency space, and I'm not hearing a lot of questions about it. Bank of America, yet another too big to jail criminal enterprise, applies for 9 more blockchain patent applications. This was on top of their over 20 blockchain patents. That was reported on August the 11th. The 9 more came 2 weeks later on August the 25th. I think I said October. It's August the 11th, August 25th. So they have more than 30 or somewhere around 30 blockchain patents. Bank of America, criminal to the core. Please. 12 questions about Bitcoin. This is on the Washington Post, getting back to mainstream embracing it. So they're assimilating people to Bitcoin. Well, what's Bitcoin? Well, there it is. That seems really weird. Why would anyone use a payment network based on an imaginary currency? That's a good question. That's a very good question, actually. But this is just showing that the Washington Post, I believe that's the one that Jeff Bezos over at Amazon owns. So, of course, he wants this people being assimilated to digital currency, cryptocurrencies, because he's going to benefit from it. More than likely, it won't be Bitcoin or any of the others that are out there right now. This was at the New York Times. Grandpa had a pension. This generation has cryptocurrency. I don't get it. Mainstream media is absolutely embracing cryptocurrencies. Ethereum blockchain used by United Nations for sending aid to Syria. This was published once again in June. June was a very heavy month for banksters coming out of the woodwork. Criminal enterprises like the United Nations coming out of the woodwork, talking about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. The United Nations is sending aid to Syria utilizing Ethereum blockchain. That means that it's already in place. This is not something that's under development. It is in place. That means that for a year or more, they've been working on this, and I failed to report it, and I haven't seen hardly anybody else reporting on the United Nations getting involved in this. Now, I have reported on it recently, but a year ago, I did not. I was not reporting on it. Microsoft. Microsoft is another one of those very criminal organizations that is another one of those criminal organizations that's using probably the Ethereum. I've heard that they have been associated with Ethereum that are going to be developing. They have unveiled global ID system for refugees. Once again, June, big month. United Nations ID 2020. And here is a picture of what is going to show up on your phone using this digital ID, basic human right. Yeah, right. Digital ID is a basic human right. No, it's not. It's really not. So, but they are going to be using blockchain technology. The tool developed by Microsoft and Accenture combines biometric data like fingerprint or an iris scan and a new form of record-keeping technology known as the blockchain to create a permanent ID. We'll use a group of people that can't defend themselves at this point from anything of this nature and force them into the system and see how it works and get all the bugs worked out, and then we'll roll it out to everybody else. So, once again, not attacking, just asking questions. Why are all of these criminal entities that we have been reporting on their global financial terrorism for decades? Ben Bernanke. How can I forget Ben Bernanke? Goodness gracious. Ben Bernanke recently, blockchain conference. Here's Mr. Bernanke. Federal Reserve to speak at, former chairman, Federal Reserve to speak at blockchain conference. This was reported 5 days ago over on the Coin.org about how Mr. Ben Bernanke is going to be at a blockchain conference, keynote speaker. Will be the keynote speaker in October, hosted by Ripple. CoinDesk. CoinDesk is reporting this morning China's central bank visits U.S. on blockchain research trip. Not sure what that's about. I don't even care. It just, all of these things are pointing in the same direction, that the central banks are going to, quote, crush cryptocurrencies and implement their own. Now, I've heard the argument that, well, Bitcoin and these other coins and this, and they're all decentralized and you can't get to them. They don't have to get to them. It's very simple. You put up a firewall that has a certificate attached to it, and it says unless this currency has this specific certificate attached to it, then reject it. That's it. That's to say nothing of the drug money laundering and all the, quote, terrorism, end quote, that they already are attaching. The governments around the world are already attaching these nefarious activities to the current set of cryptocurrencies. That's what they're doing. That will keep people away from them. Nobody wants to be labeled a terrorist or a drug money launderer. They don't. They don't want to be arrested for that. They're not willing to take that chance. So it doesn't matter. And the last thing, and then I'll let you guys get back to your afternoon. Most of the people that are moving into cryptocurrencies are broke. There's been multitude of reports showing that Americans are, have less than $1,000 in savings. They can't come up with $400 for a medical bill. Michael Snyder's done a great job over at the Economic Collapse blog. We republish his work every single day that he writes. Every article that he publishes, we republish at thedailycoin.org, and he has done a magnificent job of detailing what's actually happening with the American people. If most Americans have less than $1,000 in savings, how much can they realistically invest in one of these cryptocurrencies? Not very much. So let's say they can scrape up $100 to put into it, and the current quote value, end quote, of these cryptocurrencies is doesn't matter because they've only got $100 to invest. So they invest their $100. These cryptocurrencies go up by 5 times from where they're currently at. So that means instead of having $100, they now have $500. That's a pretty nice chunk of change, but it's not life-changing. You see where I'm going with this? They can't, it's going to be difficult for that person. And then what are they going to do with it? Are they going to reinvest it back into these cryptocurrencies to garner more gains, or are they going to do their due diligence and reinvest it into something else that's going to make it grow more? I don't know. Nobody knows. Is that not a realistic scenario? So unless they wise up and start reinvesting their gains from what they've made after taxes, of course, because if you don't report your taxes, well, that could be a problem. So just questions. Just questions. I'm just trying to figure out why all of these guys are moving into this space, what they're doing, what their goals are, why they want to create various and sundry, regulations and policies and develop their own cryptocurrencies, and why, Vampire Squid, Bank of America, IMF. I mean, these are, and you have to keep in mind, this is not even scratching the surface of who's moving in. Mainstream media is embracing, not questioning. They're just saying, yeah, it's great. You got to get in. Go into $1 million Federal Reserve notes. Woohoo! Okay. Well, that's it for today. So I hope you guys like this. If you don't, say so in the comment section. If you do, say so in the comment section, and I'll do more of this type of videos in the future. Otherwise, have a great day, and I certainly appreciate you sticking around and giving me a listen.